forever. One that influences you and creates a passion for doing something fun and exciting. Today, one ordinary customer service worker will tell us about his discovery for his love of movie making. A manager at a video store in Norwalk, his experiences in his line of work have opened up the exciting world of media and cinema to him. The Humanities Communications Art Department at Norwalk Community Colleges presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now, join our host, Chris Sheehan.
We're going to meet someone today with an avid passion for movies and all things film related. He has over 300 movies in his constantly growing movie collection, but this is the first time he's working creatively with film. He's 22 years old and he's a media studies major here at NCC. He's lived in Ireland and Australia and looks forward to using his experiences abroad to influence his work behind the camera. Please let us welcome Carley O'Brien.
Thank you.
So, Carley, how has your passion for movies influenced your life so far?
Well, growing up, I lived in a household where movies were kind of a big part. My mom was an avid moviegoer and generally loved to take us to the movies. I remember the first movie I ever went to, or at least the first one I can remember going to, was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. We went to a lot of movies, though, not always kid appropriate. She took me to a lot of R-rated movies that she thought would be okay, like Dances with Wolves and Last of the Mohicans. But there came a time, around my early teens, where I started to look at movies as an art form rather than just another form of entertainment. And the movies that influenced me in that sense were things like American Beauty, Royal Tenenbaums, and Mumford. And these movies just really made me appreciate filmmaking rather than just appreciate the movie itself. But I spent a lot of time watching movies, but it really increased when I turned 16 and got my first job at Blockbuster. I still have that job, and working there was a huge influence because I had all these movies available to me, and I just decided to start going through all these movies I felt like I should have seen and just never had. And so I started watching movies, and it just really increased that passion. Also, I started filming with one of my friends when he was taking this class, this TV production class, and getting to watch him direct was a big influence because it kind of showed me the creative process at work, which seemed really interesting to me at the time. That's kind of why I started taking Shields' TV film appreciation classes. Okay.
Could you tell us why you decided to take the TV production course?
The TV production class was kind of intimidating for me. Even though I'd seen my friend Rob direct, it all seemed a little bit out of my league. But I eventually really decided that it was too enticing not to take. I needed to learn how all this stuff worked, how the mechanics of it all, and so I decided to bite the bullet and just take this class. Didn't hurt that it was a requirement also.
Sure. What are some of the most useful things that you've learned in this class thus far?
I think the most useful thing I've learned is probably Avid. All the editing is, what seemed completely foreign to me when I started is now, relatively easy and relatively, it all makes sense to me right now. And I feel like going forward, that's probably the thing that would most help me get a job in TV production. But just learning all the basics behind the camera, the shift focus, and learning to manually focus and all that kind of stuff really helped also.
Cool. Could you tell us about your sequence, your camp story, or your fall foliage project?
Well, my sequence was me getting my girlfriend as she was turning on a computer and signing onto the internet, checking her email. It was really difficult for me at the time because I didn't really understand the how hard it was to keep continuity going. But eventually I made it all make sense, and it was the best way for me to learn how to edit. Trying to make this all make sense. But eventually it all worked out well. And the campus story was me getting one of my friends to act in a story about him being really late for class and just running into trouble at every step of the way. And he just ran into a security guard who wouldn't let him pass, and it just constantly was meant to show the difficulties of being late for class. My New England Fall Foliage project was me going around town, shooting the beauty of the New England fall. I got to film at different times of the day. And it was really beautiful and bright. Some days kind of dark and murky. Some other days. But one day I just kind of ran out immediately after a rainstorm to try to get the water droplets on the leaves and everything, and it all worked out pretty well. I think it looked good and edited well together.
Cool. Could you tell us about your best project?
By far, my best project was the fall foliage. It looks really great with the music behind it and just everything. Kind of goes well together. It kind of syncs up a little bit, and it really displays the beauty of the New England fall, which is kind of what the whole project was meant to do. If you want, we can watch some of it right now.
What would you like to create next?
Well, I really look forward to just continuing to work creatively with the camera. I love doing the campus story. I really liked shooting with some of my friends and getting to work with everything like that. And I hope to do more films like that. While the fall foliage was good, it just didn't entice me the way the campus story did. But eventually I hope to make bigger and bigger stories. I don't plan on doing a feature-length film anytime soon, but that could be in the future.
Okay. Today we've met someone who has spent the past few months directing for the first time. He looks forward to utilizing his studies to get into a four-year school. As a media studies major, film will constantly be a big part of his life, and we look forward to seeing what's next from him. Thank you, Carley, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed meeting some of television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you, and have a good day.
This has been The New Directors with your host, Christopher Sheehan, directed by Jonathan Vergara, and I'm your announcer, Christopher O'Connor. This has been The New Directors is a Norwalk Community College student production.